The fitness space and industry can be very confusing. You have one person saying one thing, another one saying something completely opposite. You have people just contradicting each other's, and it can be very confusing for a beginner just getting into it. It was for me. It was for me. And there are a lot of misconceptions. Some people that will swear that one thing is the best way to do things, even though it obviously isn't. And one of the rules, associated rules that I thought that I should follow. Something that just seemed like a rule. There's no one that actually said it was a rule from a training rule, but it just seemed like it because everyone was talking about this. Is that you should do at least three. You should do 3 to 5 sets per exercises. And it took me years to actually realize that there's no rule saying you should do at least 3 to 5 sets per exercises. There's no rule saying that, and that you could actually do less than 3 sets per exercises, and actually could actually make more progress doing that. Right now, I'm doing 2 sets per exercise, and I'm making the most progress I've ever made in my whole fitness journey. But 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, when I first started training, I never really even considered doing anything else because in all those training workout videos, training videos, and the best push workout videos, they were doing 3 sets, 4 sets, 5 sets per exercises. So I just assumed the more volume you do, the more progress you'll make. Do 3 to 5 sets per exercise, and there's just rules saying you should do at least 3 to 5 sets per exercise. But that was just a lie I fell for, and a lie that a lot of people, beginners, people that are introduced to the fitness industry, fall for. But there isn't any rule saying that. And if you look far enough, you'll see people doing 2 sets per exercise, 1 set per exercise, but that still make amazing progress. And some of them make even more progress. I make the most progress I've ever made in my whole fitness journey was only doing 2 sets per exercises. 4 sets per muscle group on average per session, and I would say, 4 to 8 sets per muscle group per week. That's very little. I heard about those scientific studies that said that you should do at least 10 to 20 sets per muscle group per week. So I never even considered doing less. But now I'm doing less. I'm doing 8, and the most I do for a muscle group per week is 8 sets. And I'm making the most progress. I'm making more progress than when I used to do 15 sets per muscle group, or I used to do 12 sets per muscle group. Isn't that surprising? I used to think that the more volume you did, the more progress you get. That was my philosophy. I think a lot of people think that way. If you want to grow muscle group more, just do more sets. And yes, to a certain level, yeah, it's kind of the truth. If you want to focus on muscle group more, you can do a little bit more sets than all the other muscle groups. But volume doesn't, the more volume you do doesn't mean you get more progress. That's not how it works. And there are other variables that play an important role in this. And I want to quickly talk about the intensity volume diagram, something I've talked about in many of my previous videos. But if you want to increase intensity, the volume has to go down. And if you want to increase volume, the intensity has to go down. But there is a caveat to that. A caveat. If you want to build muscle, build a significant amount of muscle, there are some scientific studies. I don't like to state, oh yeah, there's some scientific studies that say this and this and this and this, because it can also be very confusing. And there are other variables that can affect those scientific studies and all those things. But I've heard, yeah, if you want to build muscle effectively, you need to do, at the end of each working set that you do, a working set is a set that you really do to build muscle or build strength. At the end of each working set that you do, you should have at most 3 reps in a reserve. So 3 reps that you could have done with good form at the end of your set that you still had in the tank. 3 reps that you still had in the tank at most. So there is a limit to how much you can just increase volume and decrease intensity. There's a limit to how much you can decrease intensity. So that means there's a limit to how much you can increase volume. So that really makes me realize that first, different things. First, I wasn't training hard enough. I thought I was training to failure, but it isn't until I really reduced the amount of exercise I was doing and I really took each set very seriously. It isn't until I did that I really started to see some amazing progress. That I really started to progress at a rate that I never even thought was possible. Progressively overloading every single session for months. So just do what you want with this information, but I hope you can it kind of opened your eyes and really made you realize your shit. Maybe I've been training wrong all this time, just falling for this lie. Because of course, no one actually stated this. I know some people did make some videos saying, oh yeah, you need to do at least 3 to 5 sets per exercise. It's not simple like that. But most people don't really directly say it. But we just assume it's the truth because on every single workout video you see, okay, so I will do 5 sets of this exercise, and then the next exercise I do 5 sets again, and I do 4 sets, and I do 5 sets. So, and you see some people being jacked doing that, and you just think, oh yeah, if I want to make progress, I need to do as much as possible, increase my volume. But a lot of that volume can become junk. Or if you do 10 sets per exercise, but you don't even approach failure on each of them, those 10 sets were pretty much waste. And if you do 10 sets of a certain exercise, but you take each set to failure or close to failure, a lot of those sets, so maybe the last 7 sets, is pretty much junk volume. Pretty much junk volume, useless volume, that would just impede your recovery and make sure you can't progressively overload the next session. So yeah, so I have to say, if you're interested in my fitness coaching and you want me to help you build a physique of your dreams, then click the first link in the description. Don't worry from discomfort, chase it.